Well, folks, it is like 9:30 on Friday, March 27th, I think. And as you may know, there's the whole coronavirus thing going around. So there's not a whole lot else to do other than just make YouTube videos on a whim. But you may notice I'm in a cab. And you may be wondering, well, man, what's he in the cab of? I'll tell you precisely what I'm in the cab of. I am in the cab of a 2018 John Deere 9570 RX. That's right, I said RX. We finally got one. So here's some backstory. So last summer, we had a lot of ground that we didn't get planted. So we had to disc it with a disc because the weeds were just so terrible. And one of those days, the Deere dealer called us up. He says, "Hey, you guys want to try out a 9RX?" And Dad said, "Well, sure." But I actually ran it the whole day because I was the person doing the disking. Dad was running a batwing mower over some ditches and that kind of stuff. But back to the story. So we demoed it, and wow, it rocks. It's so much better than a wheel tractor. I don't know why you would buy a used wheel tractor for the same price as you would buy a 4-track tractor. It just gets so much more power to the ground. You can float across almost anything, mud, just soft ground, you name it, it'll get across it, no problem. But the one bad thing about them is price. A brand new one costs like $500,000 if you're getting the lower horsepower model, and the more horsepower you add, the higher the price is going to go. So we were looking for one, and our dealer called us. He said, "Hey, I just bought 3 of them. 3. From a guy in Colorado who they were scraper tractors is what they were. So they were all kind of tore up. And he said, here, we'll give you this number for it." And I was like, wow, that's really low. How come it's that low? Well, come to find out, these tractors were sold at like a junk sale. There's like, think about the lousiest young farmers auction you've ever been to, and then there's 3 brand new John Deere 9RXs sitting there next to an old corn planter. That's the kind of deal this was. And they only brought like $180,000 a piece just because there was nobody there that had that kind of money to buy them with. And so a guy bought them, a guy named Amish Ed from Memphis, Missouri. I don't know what county that's in. But he bought them, and then he sold them to the guy at our local dealership, and then the guy at the dealership sold it to us. And so there's some issues with this tractor. I'll show you that in a bit. But mainly it's kind of a pain. But I am super hyped to have this tractor and to run it especially for tillage. Like with the Ripper, there's just no comparison between how much power and traction this thing gets versus a wheel tractor. So this is the view from the cab. We got a screen with Bluetooth and that kind of stuff on it. It's an 18-speed power shift transmission. We got an aux cord if for some reason the Bluetooth didn't work. And we got 2 USBs. And steering wheels. It's just a nice tractor. And essential thing, we have a fridge, which I believe needs to be cleaned out. Yeah, that's neat. That needs a good wipe. This tractor just freaking rocks, except for the hood not being on it. Now, this is just a quick view from the outside of the tractor. Yes, I know the hood is off. We'll get to that in a minute. But one of the main issues with this is the fact that the front 2 belts are a little tore up because this was a scraper tractor, so they're running in some less than optimal conditions. And this is also busted. But we did replace these 2 rear tracks because they were pretty bad. Isn't that right, May? Yeah. And we're going to have to fabricate some kind of different drawbar because this is drawbar for a scraper, and we're not going to use that for this. And unfortunately, the number one hydraulic doesn't work, so we're just not going to use it because this has freaking 6 of them. We don't need to worry about fixing one of them. And of course, we had to replace the warning triangle thing because that was broken too. And it looks like I didn't even notice that. That's broken. I'll tell you what. This big hoss holds like 400-something gallons of diesel in the tank. I'm not sure how big the government juice tank is, but it's probably 10 gallons. That's just our guess. We'll climb up here in the cab. And here is the hood for our 9RX. So, nearest we can tell, someone loaded this onto a trailer with the hood facing into the wind, and that's fine, except this happened. So apparently the wind got a hold of the hood and it opened it up and it cracked. I mean, I should have taken before and after pictures, but this whole area here was just gone. This plate was gone. This plate was gone. This area was gone. It was all broken out here along this mount. We just ungodly amount of time putting this back together. And up front here, this screen was tore out. It was just a mess. And as usual, the the hood seal was gone. Say hi, May. So that, in a nutshell, is our new tractor. And I'm standing in front of a 8345R. This is what we use on our bean planter. And I know a couple kids that I go to school with that mentioned, it was like, hey, you should make an equipment tour video. But I'll be honest, I just don't want to because there's a lot of stuff. But seeing as now we have a lot of spare time, well, everybody does, across the Midwest and the United States, I might be able to get to that here in the next week, unless my mom is crazy and won't let me go outside because of homeschool. We have to go to school from home, you know. But, whatever. Thanks for watching. If you want more videos like this, subscribe, hit the like button. We'll catch you around.